think he's also been touching on Cristiano Ronaldo. Of course, he had cleared the air talks, Simon, with Ronaldo yesterday. So we're led to believe. And Cristiano has been duly reintegrated into the Manchester United group. He'll be in the squad tomorrow. You were suggesting that the club rips up his contract if they can't shift Ronaldo in January. And yet he seems to be back in. Would it be an insult? Would it be humbling for him if he was asked to start the game against European minnows Sheriff?
I'm not sure that's quite what I said. What I said was they can't find a resolution between them. If they can't find an accord that brings things into a far more calmer environment, then United should perhaps consider tearing up the contract because they've got nothing to lose. There's no value in the player in terms of resale value, and there's no real implication behind them tearing up his contract because they've written down most of his transfer value. If in some way or another they are able to harness, and Graham Souness will have us believe that they can't, but if there's some way or another able to harness Ronaldo and manage his expectations at the same time as advance the football club, you'd be better off having him in the team. The challenge is that nobody believes and nobody really thinks that Ronaldo is going to toe the line that Ten Hag will want, given the fact that statistics are bearing out that the team is better without Ronaldo in it. So you're asking Ronaldo to accept a situation which probably he isn't going to accept. So that goes to the territory of if he can't find an accord, and I don't know whether finding an accord is putting him a team in the Champions League against an also-ran side, but I guess it's part of a rehabilitation process. He walks off on Sunday, walks down the touchline, refuses to go on the pitch, and so subsequently there has to be a consequence for it. And if that consequence has concentrated his mind and he's now going to play the way that the manager wants him to play, which is be available when he wants him to. And I do also think there's a lot wrong with the way Ten Hag's handled it. Why would you put a player on in the 87th minute in a nothing game?
Ludicrous.
Why would you do that? I know we don't want to separate players, but there is a balance between managing. Everyone accepts
any senior player.
You've got to manage players in a certain way. You've got to give them a bit of latitude and a bit of respect.
Was that him not just showing who's boss? I mean, Ten Hag, whether it's Ronaldo or not.
That's a silly bit of management. That really silly. Now you could argue you paid to do your job. You go on anyway. I've had it even when as a senior player where a manager were 3-0 down. There's 10 minutes to go.
You're creating a confrontation now, aren't you? If you do that with him.
Well, I looked at him as if to say you are joking, but I still went on because that's my job. That's the difference. I would have gone on, even though I'd be fuming. Have it out with him after. Just say, come on.
Yeah.
Have some respect.
But it's Ronaldo's job too.
But what I would say right now is there's two things. One is Ronaldo's got to keep himself sharp and focused for the World Cup. So he needs some minutes. So he should take all the minutes he can, however they come, against whoever, to benefit himself. And he's not daft. He will. Because he'll want to go into the World Cup firing all cylinders sharp and fresh. And you don't stay sharp and fresh just by training. So if he gets to play tonight, Thursday night, then he should grasp it and just keep himself going for himself and whatever future club he's going to. The second thing is the public perception. I'm sure he wants to be more. He doesn't want the negativity and bad press around him. He will have had a little wobble of his own head in the mirror and gone, come on, I don't want that really. But ultimately, in January, he's got to go because he'll hold people back in the squad. It becomes a little bit fractious when you keep seeing these problems repeat themselves. And from the player to the manager, you're looking at the manager going, why do you keep letting this happen? Because it's your fault.
Player to manager? It's Ten Hag's fault.
Yeah, he's the captain of the ship.
But he didn't do what the captain of the ship was asking him to do.
You don't tell Ronaldo to come on 87 minutes when you're winning a game and playing well.
There's no point to it, is there?
You are causing your own problem.
What do you think Ten Hag's point was?
I don't know, Jim. I think that
he probably didn't think it through in the moment.
But there is and you're right, Jim, to suggest that Ten Hag has the responsibility and the player should do as he's told. But there's also starting a confrontation and being able to finish one. And what is the point? What point could you possibly need to make? There's nothing in this game left to be done. The game's won. We're 2-0 up. It's 87th minute. Why do you need to light a fire? Now, the other side of the argument, and you'd be right on advancing that as well, is why doesn't Ronaldo just do as he's told?
Exactly.
But two wrongs don't make a right. The manager doesn't create the situation. You haven't got a situation to manage. Graham would have us believe, and I don't think either one of us really subscribe to this view, but maybe you do, that he had a long chat, because Jim and I were having a conversation with Graham Souness, and he reckons that absolutely categorically he would have had a long chat with Ronaldo and promised him the earth. Which made no sense to me, because if he wasn't going to deliver him the earth, then you were always going to have the problem with Ronaldo 2 months down the line.
I don't think he's had a chat.
Neither do I.
I don't think he has.
I just think that we're in a situation now where a lot's been made up, and Ronaldo's playing up to it as well. But if they can't square the circle and they can't get an accord, what is the point of the exercise?
Well, Well, I mean, surely he should just take his chance now. You know, as you say, the World Cup's coming up.
He will.
It's very close.
He'll toe the line.
If he wants him to start again, Sheriff, and bang in a few goals.
You won't have any more problems. I don't think you'll see any more problems.
And it'll start again in January.
Between now and the World Cup. When he gets back,
it'll start again.
And he'll really, there should be an exit plan now from club and player. But if he hasn't got one, then why is he going to give up his money?
Okay.
So,
well, he wants to go. So he can't have it both ways.
What I mean is, if there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, but that's not Man United's problem. If he wants to agitate to leave and he's the one putting it on Man United, then it's incumbent upon him to accept that they may well tear up his contract, tear up the liability for the $500 a week, write off the transfer fee they could get.
What, we're talking 6 months' money? We're talking January.
We're on the basis of we're talking about £12.5 million.
Well, the sad news coming out of Manchester United this lunchtime is that Varane will not be playing again anytime soon.
That's a big
which,
miss
of course,
for club and country.
Desperate situation for France with the World Cup coming up. It is now 12:30.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.